Okay, let's talk about the grip, the most overrated part of the setup. So when you grip it, see that white line at the bottom edge of the club there? You just want to make sure that's pointing straight up to the sky. That's the closed position. It's going to go left. Open position, it's going to go right. Okay, left hand on. Just get it right down in the joints of your fingers like that. Don't put it in the palm. So imagine you're picking up a suitcase, something with a handle. You're going to get it in your fingers. Wrap your hand around it, especially if it's heavy. Okay, same applies to the right hand. Get all the fingers on in the joints. Close it on top, cover that thumb up. There's your grip. That's what we call a baseball grip. All the fingers on the grip. If the hands are too far round to the left, like so, that will cause more of an open face on impact. And then hands too far to the right, like so, that will cause more of a closed face on impact. Me personally, I just like to get it in a position where the crease between my thumb and finger on my left hand here and right hand run up my arm towards my right shoulder. That's my preference. But there's no right or wrong. Everyone's different. Everyone talks about how the grip is the most important part, but to me it's not. The pivot is the most important part, because if you can't pivot, you won't create club head speed. Then the other thing, if you can't pivot, if you're swaying, if you're moving over, all over here, you're never going to connect with the ball consistently, because you're going to come down and hit the floor, you're going to catch the top of the ball, you're going to come over the top. Having too much weight back here is a big cause of coming over the top, so you're going to cut across it, slice it. So the grip is the least of your worries, and it's almost the last. It is the last part of the setup you want to worry about, because the most important part is your posture, which I've talked about before, because your posture supports your pivot. So when I'm swinging that heavy slam ball, I want to make sure I'm in good posture so I can balance out the forces that are going on when I'm swinging that ball. And the same applies to the golf club. You want to be in good posture so then you can actually pivot your body more efficiently. So to me, that's number one. So I don't care if your grip's a little bit weak, a little bit strong, or if you're holding it, split grip, baseball grip, it doesn't matter, because golf is about striking the ball at the middle of the club face. That's all it is. The best feeling ever is when you catch that ball dead centre there. That's what it's all about. People waste so much time getting the grip right, it's perfect straight back posture and shoulders back and everything, they just lose the ability to strike the ball. So I want you to be able to get into your posture, have a good pivot, just get a grip on it in your fingers, don't worry too much about it, but focus more on that posture and pivot, because that's what's going to give you the club head speed and a consistent connection and confidence. So if you're standing there in your net striking the ball beautifully, feels really good, you're going to get confident. And I much prefer hitting into a net than out into a big open driving range, because you're hitting into the net, you're not worrying too much about where the ball finishes, because everybody that I teach is somehow obsessed by hitting the ball perfectly arrow straight, and that just didn't happen. When I was learning to play as a kid, I'd practice in a net at the golf club at Handsworth Golf Club, and I'd be in there for hours developing my strike, because I didn't know where the ball was going. And then what had happened is when I got out onto the driving range, because we go on the practice ground, maybe after it stopped raining, we'd come out of the indoor practice nets I had there. It was like hitting off a rubber doormat, but that helped me develop a better strike. And then we go on the practice ground, hit some shots, still with a beautiful strike, and then we'd see the ball slice a little bit or hook a little bit. So then I was able to make little tiny adjustments with my grip. So if it was slicing to the right, I'd have a grip where my hands were a little bit more around to the right to help close the face a bit more, as I mentioned a second ago. If it was hooking to the left, which was my problem, because my grip got a little bit strong, I'd weaken it a little bit, and then I'd hit a nice flight, with a little bit of movement, and a little bit of movement is absolutely fine. I'm not looking to hit dead straight. If you're looking to hit dead straight, you're going to get pretty frustrated, and you're not gonna enjoy this game. The ball will shape, and just let it shape. So that's what I'm saying. Get your posture. That's really going to support your pivot. You're going to be able to generate speed, but more importantly, that beautiful contact, and that's what we've got to get first. Without contact, you're not going to get distance. Doesn't matter how fast you're swinging if you can't hit the middle of the club face. Think of the middle of the face like a trampoline. If you hit the middle, it's going to go a mile. If you're hitting the toe, the heel, the bottom, it's going nowhere. And also if you're hitting the toe, the heel, or the bottom, you get a lot of twisting going on, so you're never going to be able to hit it where you want the ball to go. And in terms of short game, controlling the ball, if you're not hitting the middle of the club face, you're never going to consistently hit it 10 yards, 20, 30, 40. You're never going to be able to control it. So stop worrying so much about the things that don't matter so much. Focus on the posture, the pivot. The grip comes last, and then develop your swing, which will give you the strike. Then you're going to enjoy the game a lot more.